Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Tired? How come no response? Okay, class started. No more phones, please. Any question, comments, concern, complaint? No. Our homework will be due every Monday midnight. But you can always do homework ahead of time if you want. So I didn't change the date yet for 3.4, 3.5, and 3.6. We're still doing 3.5. Once you're done with 3.5, so today is Thursday. Probably this week you'll have only one homework, 3.5. And then next week, 3.6 and chapter 4. So if you haven't noticed, I actually posted the review sheet. If you go to content on our Brightspace page, see under exam review, I posted the review sheet for exam 1. It should be spring 25. My bad. I'm still living in 24. So our exam will be on Valentine's Day, and it will be based on chapter 3 and 4. But let's see how much we can finish before next Thursday. So by Monday, whatever we can finish, our exam will be based on that. I made the review sheet based on chapter 3 and 4, but most likely we won't be able to do anything or much from chapter 4. Okay. So if you cannot finish chapter 4, you can ignore that for the exam. And if you can finish, then it will be in the exam 1. And if you observe, most of the questions are from the lecture notes. So I don't have a solution for the review sheet because you can find them in our lecture videos. And if you're wondering where our lecture videos are, again, you go to content and you see on the left, it's the class playlist. You click on the playlist and it will take you to our recordings. I posted all the recordings from day 1 to day 4. So today will be our day 5. So I posted everything. Our class is CTFA. So you can look at all the CTFA section, and DTFA, I'm teaching the exact same thing. So if you want to watch anything, you can watch in any of the recording. What else? And pre-lecture notes, whatever the lecture notes we are going over in class, I posted them under pre-lecture notes. So if you click on that, it will take you to a PDF file, and whatever I'm going over in class, everything is in there. Once you're done with chapter 3, I'm going to post chapter 4. Okay. Any question? Half will be multiple choice, half will not be multiple choice. For multiple choice, you still have to show correct work in order to get full credit. Multiple choice doesn't have partial credit, so either you show correct work, pick correct multiple choice, you get full credit. And if you do wrong work, but pick correct multiple choice, it's still 0. For non-multiple choice, I'm going to give you partial credit based on how much you shown correct work. We are not allowed to carve by the Department of Policy. Okay, any other question? So far we learned slope formula. Y equals M1, M equals Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. You have to remember that formula. You have to remember the 3 formats of the line, like standard format, point slope format, slope intercept format. You have to remember what type of slope parallel lines have, perpendicular lines have. That's all right. We learned this so far. So do you remember what you learned in our last class? What did you learn? And parallel lines? Same. The parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have the completely opposite slope. We call them negative reciprocal. It means the signs are opposite and the fraction or the number, it will be flipped. And also we learned how to find equation of horizontal line and vertical line, 3 points. We also learned how to find equation of a line when you're given a slope and 1 point. So today we are going to start with one example from our last class. Find the equation of the line passing through the point and perpendicular to that line. So what is the first step? Any idea? We are finding the equation of the line that is perpendicular to that line, and that perpendicular line goes to the point 3, -2. What do we do first? Anyone? Come on, guys. Your exam is 1 week from today. And we learned that just 1 day ago, not even 1 week ago, 1 day ago. Why did they give us this line? Why this line is important? Jeremiah. We need to know the slope of this line. So this line is important only because of its slope. We want to know what is the slope of this line. 5x minus 15y equals 0. So do you see the slope here? Is it given to us directly? No. So what can you do so that you can see the slope? Which format of the line has the slope visible to us? I know, I'm talking about the format. So you have 3 formats, right? Standard form, slope intercept form. So this is standard form. So it doesn't have the slope. It doesn't have the slope given to us directly. So which of the 3 format has the slope that we can see in that format? Y equals mx plus b. So our goal is to convert this into y equals mx plus b. So what can you do to get the y alone here? Step 1. Add 15y, no problem. Our y is negative, so we can add that to both sides. It will turn into positive. So we have 15y on one side and 5x on the other side. And then what? Our goal is to get the y alone. Divide by 15. So we have y equals, can we reduce 15 and 5? This is 15. Can you reduce them? 1/3. So 5 goes to 5 once, 5 goes to 15 3 times. We get 1/3x. So that tells us this is the slope of this line. 1/3. It will help us to find the slope of the perpendicular line. If this line has a slope 1/3, what is the slope of the perpendicular line? -3/1, which is -3. So you take the opposite sign and you flip your fraction. So we know that perpendicular line has this slope, and it also goes through x1, y1 is 3, -2. So these are the information we know about the perpendicular line. It has slope -3, and it has a point 3, -2. So how can you find the equation of the perpendicular line? Y minus y1 slope x minus x1. Anytime you're finding equation of any line that is not that has a point, at least 1 point, and slope or 2 points, this is the format you have to start with. You don't have to, but this is a good way to start with. Now, what is our y1 for the perpendicular line? -2, and the slope we found is -3. What's the x1 for the perpendicular line? 3. Oh, we have double negative here. So what happens to the double negatives? Positive. So y plus 2. And what we do on the other side? Distribute. So -3x. And then what? 9 plus 9. And it says find the equation of the line. It didn't mention the format, so we can actually leave it with the y equals mx plus b format, because it didn't mention, and it's also not a multiple choice question. So in order to leave this into y equals mx plus b format, we just need to get rid of the 2, and we got y equals -3x plus 7. But if it's asking for standard form, all you have to do is bring this 3x from the right to the left, and it will turn into a positive. So it will become 3x plus y equals 7. So depending on your multiple choices, you'll select either one of these. Any question? Great. Now we have our last type of equation, last type of format of the line of equation of line. Then, in this format, we're not going to do any math, just like horizontal and vertical line. No math is needed. All you have to do is visualize the scenario. So in this scenario, it says, find the slope of the line perpendicular to the x-axis and passes through the point 3, -5. What is the slope of the line which is perpendicular to the x-axis? So what's the slope? Slope is undefined. Great. See, he could see that already. The main hint is perpendicular to x-axis. So this is x-axis, right? right? So what type of line is perpendicular to a horizontal line? A vertical line, right? So if you draw a vertical line, this is a vertical line, and every vertical line has what type of slope? Slope is undefined. Horizontal line has zero slope, but vertical line has undefined slope. And they are saying this line goes to the point 3, -5. So let's say here somewhere we have 3, -5. Okay. So let's say this is our x-axis, y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, and -5. See, we didn't do any math. We just visualized the scenario. What type of line is perpendicular to the x-axis? And they're asking to find the slope of that line. So who is lost? Who didn't understand what we did? Tell me which part was unclear. X-axis and y-axis, every plane has them, right? Now, the main hint is perpendicular to the x-axis. What type of line? So if this is our x-axis, it's a horizontal line, right? So what type of line is perpendicular to any type of horizontal line? It's a vertical line. Now they're saying that vertical line goes to the point 3, -5. So somewhere in this line, we have 3, -5. I just picked there. X value is 3, y value is 5. But this is not important here. The important thing is what the slope of this line. So what is the slope of any vertical line? Undefined. So answer here is undefined. That's the slope. And guess what? You'll see them in the final exam. At least one of the scenario. Next question is very similar, but what's the difference between the left and the right? They look very similar, right? They look like exact same question. Perpendicular to the y-axis. So these are y-axis, right? Y. What type of lines are perpendicular to y-axis? Another vertical line or a horizontal line? So the line we are asking for that goes to the point 3, -5 and perpendicular to the y is something like this line. Perpendicular line. Which is a horizontal line? And what's the slope of any horizontal line? 0. That's it. It's called has, it looks like pi. Has. So they're not asking for equation of the line, okay? They're asking for only slope of the line. So when they're asking for only slope of the line, that's all you have to do. However, if they're asking for equation of the line, that means you have to plot the point correctly so that you can see the equation of the line. So in the next one, they're asking for the slope, also the equation of the line. So we have the same points, okay? So x-axis, y-axis. And now let's see what they're asking for. Find the slope and the equation of the line that is parallel to the line x = 9. And that line is passing through the point -3, 8. So we need to do two things extra. One is plot the -3, 8 and also draw the line x equals 9. -1, 2, 3, and let's say this is 8. So this is the point through which we're going to have our parallel and perpendicular line. And the line is not parallel to the x-axis or y-axis. This time the line is parallel to the x equals 9 line. Let's say this is x equals 9. How do we draw x equals 9 line? Any idea? Up and down, right? See, x equals 9 doesn't have any y. That means it's not going to cross the y-axis. It will only cross x equals 9 points. So it's a vertical line that goes straight up and down through the x value 9. So this is our setup. X-axis, y-axis, the point, and the line they are giving us. And now let's see, they're asking to write the equation of the line parallel to this line. So this line is a vertical line, right? It's parallel line. Will that be another vertical line or a horizontal line? Another vertical line. So you're looking for another vertical line that goes through this point. A vertical line that goes through the point -3, 8. So this is the parallel line. This line is given. This point is given. They want us to draw a line that is parallel to this line. And it goes through that point. Now, what is the equation of this line? Great. See, it's going through only the x value -3. So this line has to have the equation x equals -3. It's not touching our y-axis. So it cannot have any y in the equation. It has to have only x in the equation. And what is the slope of any vertical line? Undefined. And they're asking for two things, the equation and the slope. We give them both. Who is confused? Ask me a question, I'll help you. Remember, you'll see one of these in the final exam. Always they give you one of these. So who is confused? Nobody is confused. Are you guys sure? If you're not asking me a question now, it's your loss. Because in the exam, you will forget. To the next one, to be by yourself. The same question, same everything. The only difference is this time they're asking for perpendicular. And we are looking for equation of the perpendicular line and the slope of the perpendicular line. Ready? Who would like to be my volunteer? Jeremiah. So it should be a horizontal line. And you can see it's only touching y equals 8. So equation is y equals 8. Perfect. And the slope is 0. Every horizontal line has slope 0. So this line also will have slope 0. Guess what? In the exam, you're going to do at least 10 of these. At least. It could be more. Definitely at least. Where you have to draw the perpendicular or parallel line, give them the equation, and also the slope. So for each one, you have to do 3 things. And there'll be at least 10. So does anybody have any question? Was anything unclear to anyone? Okay, then try the next pair. And let me take attendance. Is 2, 6. Janisha? Janisha Cadet? No. Eliza? Maimuna? Maimuna? Fabricio? Sergio? Miley? Hemlart? Oliver is here. Himadri is here. Mustafa? Jacqueline? Gia? Yeah. Allison? No. Anaya? Is it A or A? Okay. Jason? Atsiri? Anthony? No. Joseph? Sitleli? Saida? Mohammed? Yeah. Ronaldo here. Daniel here. Riza? Jeremiah Steele? Camila? Philia? Haley? Jasim? Jeremiah Zakif? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. Oh. Are you guys ready? Ready? Okay, let's this what this is F. They gave us the point negative half, negative 5. So let's say this is negative half, and let's say this is negative 5. Okay. At Siri, help me with this question. A. Find the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the x-axis and it goes to the point negative half, negative 5. Great. So perpendicular to the x-axis is this line. Perpendicular line. So it has the equation x equals negative 1/2 because it's going through only the x to the negative 1. Then what is the slope of this line? Wonderful. Any type of vertical line has slope undefined. See? Any question? Okay, let's be here. The same scenario. We have negative 1/2, and let's say this is negative 5. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Miley. Can you help me with B, please? Great. So our y-axis is this one. And to draw its perpendicular line, we have to go through the point negative 1/2, negative 5. So it becomes a horizontal line. So this is perpendicular line. And what's the equation of this line? Y equals negative 5. Wonderful. And the slope of this line? 0. See, it wasn't bad. Any question? Remember, at least 10 of these, at least 10 of these you'll see in exam, in class exam, and definitely one in the final exam. So I'm giving you another final exam question. I'm not sure which scenario they're going to give you, but in class exam, I'm going to give you all sorts of scenarios. Something like this, something like the previous one, and something like this one. So this actually has already, this part already is inside this. So I'm going to ask you something like this type of perpendicular to this line, perpendicular to that line, or perpendicular parallel to x-axis or y-axis. So it will be a mismatch of all the scenarios. At least 10, okay? It could be more than 10, but at least 10. And now with this, you're done with 3.5. So you're going to have homework on 3.5 due Monday. And 3.5 has a quiz combined with 3.2 something. So you're going to have one quiz, one homework due by Monday midnight. And now we are starting 3.6. From all things about line, we are going to something called function. So before we start a function, we start by a relation. What is a relation? A relation is a set of ordered pair. So anytime we have x and y value together, it's a relation, but they have a relation. In any relation, all the x values are the domain and all the y values gives us the range. Domain is independent, range is dependent. So all the x value, they are free. They can have any number, but not any number. I mean, we can give them, we can pick any number for x value. And based on the number we pick for the x value, the y value is determined. So y depends on the x. That's why y is dependent and all the x are independent. We say x is the input and y is the output. And now in any type of relation, we have a function. The functions are only those relations where no x values are repeated. So if you have a bunch of relation, means a bunch of x and y pairs, and you observe all the x values. If none of the x values repeat in all the relation, then that relation gives us a function. Y value can be repeated, but the x value cannot be repeated. Why do you care about function? Because function, we work with function a lot in our real life without even knowing that. And it helps us to have an easy life. So let's do one example. Question 1. It says find the domain range, find the domain, find the range, and identify whether this relation represents a function or not. So we have a bunch of ordered pair 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 8, and 4, 9. First thing we are going to find is the domain of this relation. Next, we are going to find the range of this relation. So what is the domain of this relation? What is domain, the x or the y? X. So all you have to do is list them, the x values. What are the x values we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the domain of this relation is 1, 2, 3. The range, what is the range? The y's. So what are the y values you see? 6, 6, 8, 9. And if you have something repeated, you don't have to write it twice. You just write once. So this is same as 6, 8, 9. Now, does this relation represent a function? Why do you know? Wonderful. You only observe the x, and if none of the x are repeating, that means it's a function. So in order to be a function, we cannot have the same x value more than once. We can have y values more than once. Same y value, maybe we can have 100 times. We don't care. But we only care about the domain. Our x cannot be repeated.
Using negative will be a function or
Because -1 is a one number and +1 is another number. So they're two different numbers. Okay, now B. B has 6, 1, 6, 2, 8, 3, and 9, 4. Basically, you just flip them and see what happens. So again, we need the domain, range, and whether it's represent a function or not. So what's the domain of this function? Sorry, what's the domain of this relation? 6, 6, 8, 9. And based on the x, we can already say whether it's relation or not, it's a function or not. Not a function. And how about the range of this relation? 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we don't have to write it twice. We can simply write 6, 8, 9. I think my method wants you to don't repeat. Good news, you're not going to see this in the exam. This is just basic stuff. But these are fun, right? Same thing. Now look at the points and figure out whether these points represent a function or not. Why it's not a function? Great. So if you observe the x values, this point has one x value here. This point has x value here. This point has x value here. And this point has x value here. So we have 4 points, 4 x values. None of the x values that was repeated. So this represents a function. On the other hand, observe here. This point has x here. This point has x here. But 2 points have the same x value. That means because of these 2 points, since they have the same x value, it's not a function. Again, you're not going to see this in the exam, but they are from the homework and quiz. So you'll see them in your MyMathLab. Any question here? Now this will be in the exam. Look at the graph of something and identify whether they represent a function or not. Here, again, we're not going to do any math. All you have to do is observe. Among the graphs, whichever graph, if you draw a line through the graph and the line crosses your graph more than once, then it's not a function. So in order to be a function, you just have to draw a line, a vertical line through the graph anywhere. And then if that graph crosses or intersect the vertical line only once, it's a function. So let's start with this one. Let's say I'm drawing my vertical line here. So the graph and vertical line, how many times they're intersecting? Only twice. One is here and one is there. So does the first graph represent a function? No. How about the second graph? You can draw a vertical line anywhere. Let's say I want to draw here. So how many times you're intersecting the graph? Once. So is it a function? How about this one? Still yes, because you can draw your line anywhere. Let's say I'm drawing here. We have only one intersection. So it's yes. These are fun, right? So I'm going to give around 6 or 7 in the exam. Easy 6 or 7 points. What's more? Volunteer for A. Muhammad, go ahead. Bless you. Its function. Perfect. Sergio. B. Is it a function or not a function? Not function. Why not? In order to be a function, what is the requirement? No. If you draw a vertical line through your graph, it has to intersect the graph only once. So this is your graph. How? If you draw a vertical line, not horizontal, you have to draw a vertical line. So where do you want to draw your vertical line? Anywhere in the graph, draw a vertical line. Where do you want to draw the vertical line? Tell me a spot to draw a vertical line. It's not a vertical line, it's a horizontal line. I said vertical line. So pick any point, let's say here. Draw a vertical line here. So the vertical line intersects your graph how many times? Once. So what's the requirement to be a function? The vertical line has to touch your graph how many times? Only once. So is it a function? No. Why are you see starting 2 points? This is the vertical line in your drawing. So this is a parabola, upside down parabola. Yeah, right. So this is the line I drew through the parabola. Yeah, that was it. So this line is intersecting your parabola how many times? Where do you see twice? So this is a parabola, right? And I drew a line here. So how many times the line is intersecting your parabola? Only once. And that's all you need. The vertical line touches your graph how many times? If it touches only once, it's a function. If you're talking about horizontal line, that's a different concept. It's for one-to-one function. Okay? So here is only to be a function. So it's yes. Danielle, would you like to try the next one? See. Sure. So perfect. Okay, let's see. Seda. The last one, D. What do you think? So this line is already a vertical line, right? So that means the only way you can draw another vertical line is on top of that line. So if I draw a vertical line on top of that line, how many times my vertical line is intersecting the given vertical line? Once? No, they're intersecting at every single point. No, because a vertical line is not a function. You see, my line and their line, they are the same function, so they are touching infinitely many times. So it's not a function. So this is a tricky one. So among the 4 types of line, increasing, decreasing, horizontal, vertical, among the 4 types of line, this is a function, this is a function, this is a function, but this is not a function. Vertical line is not a function. And one observation is that this line has a format y equals mx plus b, right? This line also has a y equals negative mx plus b, right? And this line has a format y equals a number, right? And this line has x equals a number. So from this observation, what can you tell about the equation of the line? In order to be a function, what you must have to have in your equation? This also has input and output. One x has multiple y here. But from the equation of the line, so let me write down the equation of the line. This is y equals mx plus b. This one is y equals negative mx plus b. This one is y equals some type of number. And this is x equals some type of number. This one doesn't have a slope, it's a curve. What else do you observe? Slope is a good thing, but for line, they have slope. For curve, they don't have slope. What do you observe, guys? Y. So in order to be a function, the first requirement have to have a y. If you don't have a y, it's not a function. Okay? Now, even if you do have a y, still there are some problems. In order to be a function, your y has to have odd power. If your y doesn't have odd power, if it has even power, or the y doesn't even there, then it's not a function. Okay? So when you see a bunch of equations, just by looking at the equation, you can tell which of these are function and which of these are not a function. How? Just observe the power of y. If y has an odd power, like y has power 1, 3, 5, 7, if you have odd powers on y, it's a function. But if there is no y, like this one, it's not a function. But if y has an even power, like y squared, y to the 4, y to the 6, it's not a function. Now let's do some example. So let me write add. Add means 1, 3, 5, those numbers. And even means 2, 4, 6, those numbers. Ready? Joseph, would you like to help me with A? Is it a function or not a function? It is a function. How do you know? What told you it's a function? Power of what? X or Y? Good. So what power we have here on Y? 1. When you don't have a power, it means your power is 1. So Y has 1 power, which is odd. That's why it's a function. And I'm going to give this in the exam. I love these questions. You don't need any math. You just need to explain why it's a function and why it's not a function. So you just have to say this, y has odd power, y has even power. That's what you need to tell me. Oliver, would you like to give me the answer for B? It is a function. How do you know? Still y has even power, odd power. Julia. See, it's a function y. Y has 1 power, which is odd. So I'm going to ask around 3 to 4 of these in the exam. So this will be in the exam, and this will be in the exam. So I'm only telling you what will be in the exam from section 3.6. All the fun stuff. Okay, let's see. Himadri. D. Not a function, why not? No, why? Not a function because there is no y. Ronaldo, the last one. Why not? Great. Not a function because y has even power. Any question? No? Okay, let's see what's next. Function notation. So function notation means instead of writing y equals something, you write f of x equals something. That's it. Let's say you have y equals x squared. This is a normal equation. And in order to tell others that this equation is actually a function, we, instead of writing y, we write f of x is x squared. So y and f of x, it represents the exact same thing. So when we have a function, but people may not know it's a function. So in order to tell them that you're dealing with a function, we don't write y equals, we write f of x equals something. It means this equation is a function of x. The function of x is x squared. Means the y value depends on the x and it's a function. Evaluating a function, all you have to do is replace the given x value into your function and then simplify. And this will be in the final exam. At least one of these. And definitely they will be in the in-class exam. Every question I mentioned in the final exam will definitely be in the in-class exam. So these are final exam questions. And for some reason, the department loves fraction. So they'll give you something with fraction. Like this. So it's a, so it's saying that we have a function. So this. It says, we have a function f of x equals 10x squared plus 4x minus 1. And they want us to replace all the x with negative 2/5. So f of negative 2/5, it means every x you see in the function, just replace them with negative 2/5. So we are going to have 10 something squared plus 4 times something minus 1. And all those something x will turn into negative 2/5. So step 1, don't write x. Instead of x, put parentheses, and inside the parentheses, the number. And now simplify. In here, we have 10 times this square. So what do we do first? 10 times that or this thing square? Which order comes first? Exponent. Remember your PEMDAS, parentheses, exponent. So we must do exponent first inside the parentheses. So we are going to keep our 10. And inside the parentheses, we have negative 2/5 squared. It means negative times negative, 2 times 2, 5 times 5. Square means multiply the same thing twice. So what is negative times negative? Positive. What is 2 times 2? 4. What is 5 times 5? 10. So this is what we have inside the parentheses. And now here, we have multiplication. Plus 4 times negative 2/5. What is plus times minus? Minus. And when you multiply a fraction with the whole number, do you multiply both top and bottom, or do you multiply only the top? Only top. So we have 8/5. And this thing has nothing, so just bring it down. Any questions so far? No. So now here it's a multiplication, so you can multiply the top. But instead of multiplying the top, I'm going to show you the shortcut where I'm going to cancel. So we had 10 on the top and 25 on the bottom. Can we divide both of them by some number? By 5. So 5 goes to 10 how many times? 2. We cancel the 10 and we had 2 on the top. Now 5 goes to 25 how many times? 5. So we had 5 on the bottom. So I'm making things smaller instead of multiplying and making it bigger. Now, after the cancellation, what do we have on the top? 2 and 4, right? So we multiply them. What is 2 times 4? 8. And what do we have on the bottom? 5. So this whole expression becomes 8/5. And we still have our this thing, so we just bring them down. Don't combine, just bring them down. So we have negative 8/5 minus 1. And now what do you observe? Daniel. So not Daniel, Sergio. The 8/5, one is positive, one is negative. They cancel out. So we don't have any more fraction. What is left? -1. So see, it looks so complicated, but once we do step by step, it became only the single number negative. In the final exam, you'll have one of these. So any question or any of the step? Was anything unclear to anyone? I really wish all of you understood everything. But just because you're not asking me any question, I definitely know it doesn't mean you understood them. Once I will give you the exam, I might be disappointed. When I started teaching for the first time. And I asked everyone, do you have any question? Nobody answered. I was like, oh, I'm so cool. I can teach so well that everyone understood everything. Like I was feeling in the air, okay? I was feeling so happy. But once I see the results in the exam, I was like, seriously? If you didn't understand, how come you didn't ask many questions during exam? So during my first semester of teaching, I actually cried a lot because I was so disappointed on myself about trusting myself so much. So now I don't trust neither you nor me. So I know that just because you're not asking me any question, it doesn't mean you understood. It's because either you're completely lost, so you don't know what to ask me, or you're shy because of your neighbors. You may think if you are asking a question, it may be silly for others, and they will laugh at you. Well, guess what? Your life is your life alone. So if you fail the class, you will fail the class, not your neighbors, okay? Not your classmates. You are going to fail this class. And if you fail the class, you are going to retake it again, not your classmates. So don't look at your classmates. Don't think they are smart and you're dumb. No, they have the same feeling inside them, okay? They have some struggling. They are just not showing it, or I'm helping them to overcoming that. So whenever you don't understand, don't feel afraid to ask me any question. I want you to ask me so that I can help you to understand and remember them better. Okay? Here are 3 of them. So try them. We may not be able to do everything today, but definitely one of them we'll do before you leave the class. So try all 3. You don't have to try alone. Try with your neighbors. Who came late? I think I got 2 of your name. How about you? What is your name? Okay. Jeremiah Zakif. No. Riza Shahid. No. Anthony. Ellison. Hemlart. Maimuna. Eliza. Janisha. Remember, attendance is 10% of your grade. It's including your quiz score. Past 2 are easy because they're whole numbers. C is also easy. It looks hard, but just like that one. Negative 3 squared. Negative 3 times negative 3. You're multiplying negative 3 times negative 3. You multiply negative with the negative. Thank you. And also here we have negative, yeah. Down 51 plus 50. Of course, negative 3 times negative 3. Okay. Yeah. Negative 3
Oh. Yeah, no, it's still possible.
So this negative is extra negative, right? Bring it down. Negative negative and seven and power. The inside negative is power. Inside becomes 5. What's the answer? There you go. Yes. No, we don't. Partial square root negative 3x plus beta. So this thing is really down to the
No, sorry.
almost right, but it's the second one to be like no. We have negative. It's negative. Negative is not negative. Oh yeah, negative 59. Sanju. Why are you missing a sign here? That is negative 73. Positive line, that's positive. How was that? First question, what is the first question? So you can speak on here, but this negative doesn't have to be the path negative. The path negative has nothing to do. So you can extra take giving it down. And that was negative. Perfect. And how come I have before here? Because like after 26, 26 last one. Biggest last one. Here. 62. Okay, you want. How is it? Okay. Why did it? Maybe you multiply will happen better, but you cannot. You know, there's a multiple example. Fraction and unfraction doesn't mean that. We have one group. The next one is negative is negative. Can you please tell you something after you do this? Negative 27. So 419. 16. Three goes to six three times. And this one real is not there. Picture is correct, line is wrong because you're missing a negative here. But 6. So you're missing one negative is from the formula, and another -5 is the accident. So this negative is in formula, so bring it down, and now this -5 squared equals to 25. And your plus times minus, so this plus times minus. Then my dear plus times. You have -25, -25, negative. You have same size, keep the side, but add all the numbers. How about 15? You know, what is 5 times 5? 5. Then my dear 1. Let's do the last one together. Weird. Actually, let's do second one together. Most of you got second one wrong. So we have f of x is negative x squared plus 5x minus 9. Now this negative is extra, so you always have to carry it down. Negative x squared plus 5 times x minus 9. Every x you see turns into -5. Now again, this negative is extra, you carry it down. It doesn't have any power. Now inside you have -5 squared, means -5 times -5. That gives us a positive 25. The outside negative, it has nothing to do with the inside negative, okay? They're completely different thing. Here we have 5 times -5, gives us -25. And lastly, we have nothing to do with the 9, so we bring it down. That's how you get the answer -51. You have the same sign, so you keep the sign, but you actually add the numbers. 25 and 25 gives us 50 plus 9, 59. Sorry, not 51. No. So do I have space? I have space here. So let's do see here. We have f of x is 18x squared, 3x, and 4. So we are finding f of -2/3. So every x you see, don't write them. Instead, put a parenthesis for them. So we have -2/3, -2/3, -2/3. In here, we have multiplication and exponent. So obviously, you have to do the exponent first. So you leave our 18 alone, and the exponent, when you plug in, negative square means positive, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9. In here, instead of multiplying the top, I'm going to use my shortcut. 3 is on the top, 3 is on the bottom. They both are divisible by 3, so we cancel both of them. So what is left in the middle term? -2. And this 4 is single, so bring it down. Again, I'm going to do the same rule here. Instead of multiplying this, which becomes bigger, I'm going to cancel 9 and 18. 9 goes to 9 one time, and 9 goes to 18 how many times? 2. So finally, what do you have on the top after the cancellation? 2 times 4. And what do we have from here? -6. And what is 2 minus 6? Oh, the answer is 2.
Oh, okay, great.
So it's not 66, it's 2. Yeah. Because I thought the answer is 66. No, it's 2. So Philia, what did you do wrong? And then you get a big number. How do you know 9 goes to that how many times? Probably get 72, right? Oh, that's why. Okay. So we did half of 3.6. Now the last thing in 3.6 we need is domain and range. So once you're done with domain and range, which is tomorrow, that means this weekend we don't have one homework. We actually have 2 homework, 2 quizzes to take. Okay? So tomorrow, quizzes will be based on 3.5, 3.2 is one, and 3.6 is another one. So 2 quizzes, 2 homework, they'll be due by Monday midnight. And I'm going to change the due date. So tomorrow we are going to finish domain and range. And then next week, Tuesday, we are going to do chapter 4. Thursday, I'm going to do a review. And Friday, you have your exam. Please.
The quiz. Is it too late to do the quiz?
No, you can still take that. So goodbye, everyone. Remember, tomorrow you have your PLTL before class. So go to your PLTL. I already posted on Brightspace. On the homeworks, they're like decimal